Remember when you were kids and your friends would ask what superpower you'd pick if you could become a superhero? Well, if you picked invisibility so you could spy on ladies showering, today's movie is for you. Welcome to Sick Flicks, where I take a deep dive into the cinematic sewer to help you embrace your inner gore geek. I'm Mike Brackett, aka The Horror Geek, and today we're tackling Riff Coogan's horror comedy, The Invisible Maniac. Released in 1990, Invisible Maniac was a video store staple, featuring a young Shannon Wilsey before she became Savannah on the cover guaranteed your local Blockbuster would never be able to keep their lone copy of this one in stock. The film became really hard to find in the intervening decades, but the good news is that you can now pick up the definitive version of this cult classic on Blu-ray thanks to the fine folks at Vinegar Syndrome. The new disc is fantastic. Snag a copy for yourself by using the affiliate link below. But enough about that. Can the Invisible Maniac murder enough 30-something high school students to graduate with a 5 barf bag GPA? Let's get to the gore and find out. Oh, and before we get started, today's movie is brought to you by patrons Tina Pankowitz, hope I didn't mangle your name, Bandito Bane, and Charles Babbage. If you'd like to help sponsor some videos and free me from the shackles of YouTube's arbitrary community guidelines nonsense, you'll find a link to my Patreon in the pinned comment and description below. Seriously, every bit helps keep the show rolling. And now, let's get bloody. We fade in on this animated title card. Oh god, it's the title font of every generic YouTube horror movie video ever. Looks like Best Value David Lynch showed up to shoot the intro for this movie too. Look, I only took this role to finance the Twin Peaks movie. Jesus, this lady has more creases in her face than a dog-eared paperback. God, does she live in a house in the middle of a paintball arena? They're never gonna get those windows clean. Upstairs, this chick is gonna set the mood with a little Divinyls on the record player. Oh, and it looks like a young Michael Myers is peeping on her. Starring Shannon Wilsey, better known to discerning purrs as the late adult film superstar Savannah. There's a really sad story about Wilsey's reaction to appearing in this film. She reportedly felt humiliated at the premiere because she thought the audience was laughing at her and not her character. And here's Melissa Moore. She and Wilsey would reunite for Sorority House Massacre 2. Alright, I'm calling shenanigans. There's no way anyone's real name is Clement von Frankenstein. Claudette Rains is a nice touch too, given that Claude Rains was the Invisible Man in the 1933 version. Champnella? That sounds like a disease. Don't touch that raw chicken, you might come down with a wicked case of Champnella. Oh, look, we've got both lions and lambs in this movie. I will say, I feel like Valmont Dubone has a lot of potential as my P-star name. Written and directed by Riff Coogan, which is a pseudonym for Adam Rifkin. Rifkin's had a wild career. He not only directed this beloved cult movie, but he also helmed titles like Look, The Dark Backward, and Detroit Rock City. Jesus, this kid's peeping on her with Coke bottle glasses and a telescope. He can probably see inside of her. Too bad for him, his creepy peeping is interrupted when Mom barges in. Kevin, I tell you you'll go blind doing this, but you're already wearing glasses and using a telescope, so I think you know. Maybe Mom's a peeper too. Then she gives him a taste of her pimp hand. Not gonna lie, this isn't the kind of spanking I expected from this scene.
You should be studying.
Well, to be fair, I think this counts as studying anatomy.
You make me sick.
With a mother like this, is it any surprise he grew up to be the Invisible Maniac? And now we're headed back to the future. We're here at this gathering of scientists, which totally looks like it was filmed in a church. Oh look, grown-up Kevin is our featured speaker. Check out this dude. He's like, here comes some bullshit. Wow, looks like Kevin's auditioning to host Sick Flicks. Way to work that podium. Turns out Kevin hasn't figured out how to bend time and space. He's just figured out how to make people
completely invisible.
These scientists are like invisible. I just can't see that catching on.
I came all the way from Belgium for such nonsense.
But Kevin's here to give all the naysayers a little demonstration. I mean, you could say this whole demonstration is in vain. Wait, are we sure that's the invisibility serum? Dude's looking pretty vascular. Could be Tren. Oh wait, this was my stash of horse for later, not my invisibility serum. And here you could say he just dropped the needle like he's Maestro Fresh Wes. Maestro Fresh Wes, that is a deep cut hip hop joke. Then this dude says what we're all thinking.
I can still see you, Dr. Dodd Minkle.
And Grandma comes in with the sickest of burns.
You want to see invisible? Watch us all leave.
Damn, must have been Tren because Kevin's got some full-blown roid rage happening. When nerds attack. Look at all these Poindexters. They're fleeing like someone's giving away free microscopes down the hall. And don't look now, but he's doling out pin fists like they're grants for science projects. And now he's beating this dude with the $1 Million Man's briefcase. Oh yeah, dude just won the Money in the Bank match. Then we jump over to this news report. Sure. Turns out this is anchor Dana Bentley. She also appeared in Sorority House Massacre 2 with Savannah and Melissa Moore. She's just here to interrupt a regularly scheduled movie with a bunch of exposition we already figured out.
When Dr. Kevin Dornwinkle went berserk.
Of course, not all of this jibber-jabber is pointless. We do learn Dr. Dornwinkle was sentenced to death but found too crazy to be executed.
Dr. Dornwinkle will be committed to the State Institution for the Criminally Insane.
And another title card. Man, this movie does more jumping around in time than Quantum Leap. You kids even remember Quantum Leap? Christ, I'm old. Clearly, we spared no expense on the set dressing. And here's Kevin escaping the mental institution, which looks more like a Mediterranean model home than a hospital for the criminally insane. Dude looks kinda like a psycho Al Franken. Man, Kevin's deep in the bush out here.
Hell yeah.
No, not like that, you pervs. I mean, he's in this wooded area. I mean, dude's running up that hill like it's a Kate Bush song. I'm the king of the world. Oh my god, another time jump title card. Are we gonna need a graphic to count all of these? Over in another movie, Summer School is about to start. I hope Mark Harmon is teaching. Mark Harmon and a reference to Maestro Fresh Wes. We're timely with the references today. Ah yeah, this definitely looks like Summer School. Where are Chainsaw and Dave? The girl in the red here is Savannah. You may not recognize her with clothes on. Then this lady shows up. She could be Members Mark Kirstie Alley if you squint, I guess. Turns out the physics professor is dead. This dude's like, that means we all get bereavement A's for this term, right?
We will continue your summer school session as scheduled.
Aw man, what a ripoff. And if you guess the new teacher is Kevin, give yourself a screenwriter's credit. I mean, this is worse than the year that I had to do summer school chemistry with Walter White.
Physics, as you know, is the poetry of the sciences.
Oh god, boring. And Tarantino Cam.
What's your name?
Vicky.
Oh yeah, I've seen what feels like a million Savannah movies start this exact same way.
Do you know what the 4 basic principles of physics are?
Dairy, meat, fruits and vegetables, and grain.
Well, she might have flunked physics, but she's definitely gonna do okay in nutrition class.
Is this guy for real?
Keep it up, discount Emilio Estevez, and you'll be doing Saturday detention. Oh yeah, this is the same expression my junior high science teacher had when telling us he expected us all to be mature adults during the sex ed video. I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling pretty swept away right now. Savannah as a cheerleader. Yeah, definitely seen that movie. This is the same expression I get every time I see pizza while on a cut. Meanwhile, these guys are talking about how to score, and not touchdowns.
You don't say that to a 90s chick.
Yeah, you invite them over to listen to Pure Moods, watch Beavis and Butthead, and chill. Duh. I don't want to alarm anyone, but Chet here looks so old I can only conclude he's repeating 12th grade for the 12th time. Then this chick says exactly what I was thinking.
You are so terrible.
And now it's the moment you've all been waiting for, cheerleader shower time. Look, Chet's got a great view. I can't show you the rest of this, but I haven't seen this many butts in one shot since American Booty. And now Kevin's gonna take a peek too. It's for science. There have been reports of peepers spying on the girls' locker room. The faculty is looking into it. Dude might as well change his name to See More Butts and start making blue movies. Kev's really enjoying the show until he gets busted. That joke would have worked better if there were more boobs in the shower scene. And don't look now, but I think the principal might be into him. Back at Kevin's place, he's recording a diary entry like this is the thing. Nobody trusts anybody now, and we're all very tired. Look at all this science. It's like a Thomas Dolby video up in here. Science! I'm starting to think this all might just be a really elaborate bong. Now he's gonna pour in some cherry Kool-Aid. I bet this gets a reaction. Oh, he was just making testosterone. And for his next trick, he's gonna make this rabbit disappear. Or not. Oh yeah, definitely making a bong. Later that night, he flips through the script just to see if there's ever going to actually be an invisible maniac in this movie. But first, he's gotta juice up this bunny. After all this trend, that's gonna be one jacked rabbit. And success. Well, that or it just quantum leap to another timeline. Turns out he's not gonna rest on his laurels either.
Let's try it on a human being to see if it works on a human being.
And if you guessed he was gonna test it on himself, no screenwriter's credit there because that shit was obvious.
I must inject myself with the serum.
Yep, definitely sounds like we have an invisible maniac. Wait a minute, did we just jump to a Vanity 6 video? Oh wait, this is all just football practice. So, let me get this straight. Dude finally got the invisibility serum to work and he basically just napped till it wore off? What the hell, movie? Here he sort of looks like a studious version of Steve-O. And look out, one shot and he's already an addict.
I do feel a tremendous urge to re-inject myself with the serum.
And now he's out on the prowl. Look at her. She hasn't slept this well since physics class. The next day, Kevin discovers a jump scare. It's just Savannah. She looks like she's offering to do some extra credit work for an A.
I'd be willing to do anything for an A.
Oh, man, her boyfriend Pauly Shore is gonna be so pissed. Pop quiz, hotshot. Oh, wait, it's just an actual pop quiz. Chet, meanwhile, gets called to the principal's office. Oh, God, is she gonna hit on him?
Maybe we can work out some kind of arrangement.
What is up with this school? I don't think these are the kind of extracurricular activities you'll find on his high school transcript. Huh, maybe the cheerleaders are cheering Chet on. That's some school spirit. And after one cheer, they've worked up a real sweat. So back to the showers. They're jibber-jabbering away in there, but since it's all topless, I guess we could call this sex position. And now things are getting pretty steamy.
Hell yeah.
No, not like that, you pervs. I mean in the shower. I can't believe we've had 2 shower scenes without Linnea Quigley. Back at home, Kevin is once again late for football practice. And over in the men's room, I think these two are about to cross the streams. Are they sharing a urinal or what? Meanwhile, Kevin's in this stall conducting an aerial strike on Porcelanistan. Over in another movie, Savannah and Bunny are shooting the breeze. Oh yeah, I totally dated Slash, and David Lee Roth, and Billy Idol, and... Oh hey, look, we got an Uncle Frank cameo. Don't look now, but Kevin's been summoned to the principal's office too. Turns out she just called him in so they could go over some anatomy curriculum. Rawr.
I find you extremely attractive.
But when he's not down to grade her on her curves, she's gonna blackmail him over his tren addiction.
I found this in your desk.
Well, when you put it like that, I guess we can make out. I mean, I need a job. Or yeah, you could just stab her. I mean, that technically solves the problem too. Kevin's busy thinking through the implications of what he's done when reality hits him like a bucket of ice water. Literally. I try not to be judgmental, but clearly Kevin has no class. And look out, it appears the school is now on lockdown. Jesus, looks like his O-face. And now the invisible maniac is on the loose. Man, he's cramming all this meat in his mouth.
Hell yeah.
No, not like that, you pervs. I mean this meaty sandwich. Talk about a hot beef injection. I'm no doctor, but this dude is probably going to want to get that goiter checked out ASAP. Now he's on to Betty, who's getting strangled with this garden hose. I hope things aren't about to get kinky. Oh yeah, she's definitely choking in her big scene. Meanwhile, these two are trying to find help, but all they find is Kevin. They think they're safe, but they don't realize that Kevin here is doing his best John Cena impression. And his first order of business is to show them the world by tossing this globe at their heads. And now he's throwing the books at them. Man, I sure hope there's not a kitchen sink in this classroom. That could be rough. I will say, filmmaking really is glamorous. You could be the actress whose claim to fame was getting pelted by books in this movie, or you could be the PA who had to throw the books from off camera. Man, just imagine. You created a potion that will make you invisible. And all you do with it is run through a high school ripping girls' tops off. That's pretty much Invisible Maniac summed up in one sentence. But the good news is, at least this chick gets to bob for goldfish before she dies. Man, I haven't seen Duncan like that since Jordan was in his prime. This chick, meanwhile, is either practicing her mime skills or regretting burrito day in the cafeteria. I do wonder if this actress was offended he didn't rip her top off. And I suppose it's okay to take a break near the film's climax so Savannah can shower again. She's a dirty girl, after all. And she's taking a blast to the chest.
Hell yeah.
No, not like that. A blast from the shower head. I can't show you any more of that because, you know, it features Prude Tube's arch nemesis, boobs. Chad out here is like, I think she must have fallen in. Then we arrive at the most shocking scene in Invisible Maniac. Savannah really was an electrifying performer. Gordy's like, come on, babe, I'm gonna be late for my tennis lesson at the club. But she's already in the locker room, and looking great. And now it's time for another great moment in horror film acting. Just give him the Oscar now. This award-winning performance is interrupted by an invisible pimp hand. That's a show first right there. And now he's getting chased by the cameraman. Eventually, he winds up on the roof. I don't think this is what they meant when they called it higher education. After getting pummeled, he decides to drop in on this driver's ed class. See? It's a teachable moment.
Basic love physics. What goes up must come down.
Chet and Bunny head off to hump like rabbits in the principal's office. Too bad he's not the only thing stiff in here. I'll give Rifkin this. At least he decided to pad his movie with gratuitous sex scenes and not just the usual random filler crap. Afterwards, Bunny heads to her locker, but is horrified to find Gordy's old gym shorts and jockstrapper in there. And here comes the janitor. Supplies! Did you hear about the janitor who got promoted to head custodian? Dude wanted to make some sweeping changes. Chet and Bunny flee, but not before dishing out some pimp hands to the janitor. Not gonna lie, really shocked Rifkin didn't get George Buck Flower or Dick Miller to be the maintenance guy. Before Chet can finish sweeping the janitor off his feet, he gets attacked by Kevin. Chet's getting a very personal lesson about force times mass times acceleration here. Things look bleak, but then the serum wears off. Nice of Kevin to finally show up. And title mention.
'Tis I, your friendly neighborhood invisible maniac.
Man, this brawl is just like when Macho Man and George the Animal Steel duked it out for Miss Elizabeth. If that match sucked. And if George the Animal won and then proceeded to curb stomp Elizabeth. Who's even left at this point? We got like 10 minutes left in this movie, but I don't think there's anyone left to stop the Invisible Maniac. And after a hard day of Invisible Maniacing, Kevin heads home. Good, he's just gonna move on to another movie.
But it's time to move on.
This is presumably a setup for the sequel that never happened. I was a teenage Invisible Maniac. But wait, here comes a swerve. Chet's still alive. Even with the gun, Chet's still getting his ass kicked. Nice work, loser. Clearly, he didn't see these blows coming. If things looking dire, there's only one chance to turn it around. Use the trend, Chet. I gotta say, having two invisible guys duke it out at the climax is an interesting choice. Eventually, someone gets the gun. But was it Kevin or Chet? Shit, Chet got hit with the Frank Zito special. He can't show that because he's got no head left. Then the cops bust in. But surprise, they think the body is Kevin. Then they make this discovery. Sweet, guess he won't be needing this Winstrol. And here's Kevin, still hiding out, waiting for that sequel. I will say it's nice of the movie to just conveniently recap itself here in the last minute, too. It's like a Cliff Notes version. And one more set of boobs for the road. I can't show you those, so cue credits. So, what have we learned from the Invisible Maniac? Well, for starters, that even if a scientist did make a serum that could make you invisible, he'd invariably just use it to spy on women in the shower. Science, making life better for all of us. But enough about that. Can the Invisible Maniac carve up enough student bodies to earn a coveted 5 barf bag rating? Let's go to the gore card! In terms of gross anatomy, the Invisible Maniac is a little light. We get a stabbing, a curb stomp, 1 electrocution, death by sandwich, 1 falling death, and a great exploding head gag. Overall, the kills aren't particularly gory, save for the exploding head aftermath. That one on its own is good enough to earn the Invisible Maniac a 2 barf bag rating. This isn't a super sick flick, but it's still pretty damn entertaining. Looking for another film where an adult star goes mainstream? Then be sure to check out my review of Buried Alive. You'll find a link here on the screen. I'll meet you over there. Until next time, I'm Mike Bracken, aka The Horror Geek, bringing you all the splatter that matters.